got all my chainsaw equipment loaded up. Super excited for the day. Haven't cut wood for a little while now. Typically I cut wood once a year to get ready for the next year's wood burning season. But I haven't cut any wood yet this year, so super excited to go out and do some wood cutting right now. A little bit of my story with the chainsaw. The first time I ever used a chainsaw was when I worked at the farm, at the rice farm I used to work at. I've talked about that in a few other videos. And it was kind of crazy because my boss said, hey, there's some oak trees that are getting in the way of the squeeze and the hay, and I need you guys to go trim them up. And he gave me and my friend a chainsaw, and we both looked at each other and we're like, dude, have you ever used a chainsaw? And we're both like, no. And he didn't give us any instruction at all, so it was completely crazy. So what we did, we looked up a few videos on YouTube, which can be a good thing or can be a bad thing, but in this case it worked out very well. We learned kind of the basics about how to chainsaw and some of the safety issues and things like that. We definitely weren't completely safe because, well, we definitely didn't get hurt. We came pretty close though a few times. We learned a lot from that day. That was kind of crazy because we would go out, we would stack 96 bales high on a bobtail truck, get on top of those bales, and then cut off these huge oak limbs. I mean, just crazy. So that was insane. That was my first glimpse into chainsaw cutting. I've cut a lot since then, had a lot of training, learned a lot more, but there's still a whole lot more to learn. So I'm gonna take you guys on this video today where I'm gonna be cutting a tree down for a client. It's actually a property owner, and she owns this rental, and they're having some issues. They can't mow under this tree because it's so low. This isn't like a 60-foot redwood or anything. It's a fairly small tree, but it's hanging pretty low, where they can't get under it to mow. So I'm gonna cut that down, load it up, take it to the dump. So if you guys got any tips or tricks on chainsawing, I would definitely love to hear it. Okay, got the tree all cut. If you can see, there's the tree right there behind me. The owner of the home didn't want me to do any stump grinding or anything like that. He just said, cut it the best you can, and then we'll leave it. But there was, the huge tree was right here, and it was just hanging down way too low for anyone to mow the lawn or anything. Hey, do you guys see this sap on my glasses? Like, I don't know how the heck to get that off. Does anyone have any tips? The more I try and clean it, the more it just smudges. I'm gonna Google it and see if there's anything I could do for it, anything that I would have on hand. But I would love to hear what you guys think, how to clean sap off of a glass. You know, I just got some, this is some sort of a pine tree. I don't know my species of trees, but let me show you guys a little bit. So like I said, this is some sort of species of pine tree. But here's the tree here. Still got to clean up a few more branches here, and then these logs I'll save and I'll burn those next year. Probably camping, and then so I got to cut up these just a little bit shorter so they fit in my truck. As you can see, my truck is kind of full, but I think I can fit the rest in here. This stuff's kind of spongy, so I think I could definitely fit it all in here. But there's my Stihl 029. I wanted to talk for a sec about the chainsaws that I use. So first chainsaw, the one that I use the most often, is the Stihl 029. This actually has a bigger motor in it than the 029 came with. I bought this thing probably about 3 years ago. We bought it off a guy from Craigslist. He told us that the motor just burnt up, so we put a new motor in it, so we bought it, not thinking anything of it. Of course, 2 hours into using this for the first time, it blew up, and took the spark plug out and saw that the sides of the piston were all scratched up and everything like that. So what I did some research, and I found out that when you buy those engine kits off Amazon or eBay, they're pretty well assembled from a certain brand, and this is the one that he put in. They're pretty well assembled, but they have an issue with the piston wrist pins. The little rings on them. Apparently they're really cheap, and they snap off, and they score the whole sides of the piston and everything like that. So I took it all apart, and sure enough, I did find that piston ring clip that had come off, and it was completely smashed. So I took the engine out, and I actually bought a brand new engine, I think off eBay for like 75 bucks, and I bought the better piston pin ring clips, and installed those. I also installed better piston rings while I was at it, and put it in there. I think this has a much bigger engine in it than it originally came with, but I was able to buy a bigger one and make it fit in there. So did a little bit of research before I did that. So that's kind of the main one that I use. I've had some great luck with it. And then this is the secondary one that I use. This is a Poland. Let's see, what size is this? This is just a 14-inch 33 cc. This one here I actually got from a handyman client. I was doing some work for a guy. I think I was rebuilding his gate or something, and he was really pleased with the work I did. And he actually had this sitting in his garage. He's had it sitting in there for a few years. It's brand new. It didn't have the bar or chain on it. Brand new, never been used, never been fired up or anything. And he said that for some reason, he used to work in an airport, and somebody tried to bring this on an airplane, and for some reason they wouldn't let him bring it on. It didn't even have the bar or chain on it, no oil, no gas, nothing, but they wouldn't let him bring it on. So they had to confiscate it from him, and he's had it sitting in his garage for the last few years. And he asked me if I did any tree work, and I said, oh yeah, I do. And so he ended up giving this to me for free, kind of as a tip of the job. So that was super awesome. So this is one that I definitely use. This is a much smaller one, but I use it on smaller jobs. It's a lot lighter than my Stihl 029 Super. But probably my go-to still is my Stihl. I absolutely love it. So got to get cleaned up here, and then I'm gonna get out of here. Hasn't been too long, but we're gonna get out of here before it gets too hot. The homeowner also wanted me to take a look at this sprinkler that wasn't popping up high enough to spray. Basically, it just has a really short riser on it, and it's not, as you can see, it's quite a bit below soil level. So I'm gonna get a new riser for that and bring it up. I checked in my trailer, and apparently I don't have a riser that I need, so I'm gonna have to run to the store and grab one. But I'm going to run to the store, grab a riser and probably a new sprinkler head, and then dump all this all this stuff off at the dump, and then I'll come back and grab all the rest of these scraps. But yeah, that's pretty much my job for the day, cutting up this tree. Well, I got quite a few other jobs to go do today as well, but gonna knock this one out real quick. This job really didn't take me too long. It only took about a half an hour to cut this tree down. So gonna run to Home Depot, take this stuff to the dump, come back, pick up these logs, put in the sprinkler head, and then on to my next job. All right, so just some of the logistics of this job here. Obviously cut down this tree. As far as pricing and time, it took me about an hour and 15 minutes. That's with inspecting that sprinkler. Still not done with that sprinkler yet. I'm gonna have to come back for that, but the price for this tree was $350 to cut down and dispose of. And it took me 30 minutes to cut it down and about 20 minutes to load it up in my truck and trailer. So then I'm gonna run to the dump and dump it. So and really, I think to dump this stuff's about $7 or so, because it's all wood and green material. So I'm gonna have to run to Home Depot, grab the stuff for the sprinkler, come back and just pop that sprinkler in, and then load up the rest of these chunks of wood. But yeah, that's pretty much this job. And if you guys like this content, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I hope you guys have a great day. Have a good one.